Okay, we have done a lot of work to this image, and it's not totally done, but you can see that we have done a lot of awesome stuff. We have added carpeting, we have added a foot, we have added retouching, we've changed the lighting. So we've gone from here, and it was very crooked, to here. So it's a real work in progress, but you can see that retouching is actually all of these tools being used together. Now, on at least one of your pictures, you're going to need to add color. Adding color is very easy. Make a new layer at the very top, and I suggest changing it to something like multiply or soft light. We'll leave it at normal just so we can see. Now, if I wanted to get a palette of beautiful pink colors, I could go to Cooler and see what they have for pink dresses, because this dress is originally pink, and there's nothing more fabulous than like 3 fabulous pink matching dresses. Now Cooler's taken its time, so we'll give Cooler a minute. That's fine, Cooler, just relax. No pressure, Cooler. Cooler may have crashed Photoshop. No? Oh, all right.
Yay.
So let's go to Browse. And my last search was donuts. But let's see if we can type in pink dresses and see. Okay, that. Ooh. Ooh. There are lots of great ones.
Pretty in pink.
Okay, pretty in pink. We like it. We are going to add it to the swatches panel. Gonna collapse that, move this over, call this paint, and then with a brush, wow, everything's really pretty slow. There we go.
Have you saved it on yet?
Yes, yeah, I just did. Then we will grab the brush, we'll make the brush a little smaller, we'll select a foreground color, and we'll start to paint. Now, the paint right now is just sitting on top. It's not actually showing you any of the detail below. But what you'll need to do is change it from normal to, say, multiply or soft light.
That looks pretty.
Right? And that looks pretty great. You can make a selection first and then apply the paint to the selection, or you can just paint it, straight on like this. I ask that you paint the entire thing, because if parts of it are painted and parts of it aren't, it just looks kind of funky. So paint the whole thing. Because it's on a blank layer, if you accidentally paint a finger pink or something else, like the skin, all you have to do is get the eraser, zoom in, and erase out any pinkness that should not be there. So it's really easy to keep, make some nice clean painting. Right? And you probably don't want it too, I would maybe make this a little softer, because we don't want it to, we want a little bit of a soft edge on it, right?
I was going to say, if we take colors from the original and put it on top, will it lay the same, or will it be a different color?
Well, what we could do is also turn off these layers, and we could sample the colors from the background layer by hitting.
Pretty spot on with that dress.
Yeah, the dress looked pretty good. If we hit I, you'll see it shows up here. We can double click on it, right? And you'll see it in the color picker. And if you want to make any adjustments, like maybe lighten it up a little bit, you can in the color picker window, and then hit add to swatches and name it grams dress 1. And then that will go into your color picker, right? I'm sorry, into your swatches panel. And then you could always use that to say paint this little one's dress, right?
So what is the mode that you're using so that you can see everything underneath it?
I'm changing it from normal to soft light. You can experiment with these blending modes. With the move tool selected, right, you can hit shift plus or minus to go through all of the modes. All right, because that's not bad either.
Shift plus minus?
Shift plus and minus to go through all the modes, but you must have the move tool selected.
Plus and minus, are the like the arrow keys for it, right?
Nope, just the plus and minus that are up on the top of the keyboard next to delete.
I'm saying, but they work as the arrow keys?
Yeah, they're going
Okay.
up and down.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're going up and down here.
That's what I was trying
Yeah.
to
Exactly. So you can choose to paint. Now, if you want soft light for the dresses, but a different mode for the faces, then you'll have to make a different layer for the faces. Okay? So painting's actually pretty easy. I would suggest using Cooler and experimenting with different layers, blending modes, and also different opacities.
Can we put a copy of the picture on top and then just make that multiply? Do we have to paint on top of the picture, or can we paint underneath it?
Let's see. If we move this up here,
No, I meant like the what is the one that we did? Ooh, that's weird. The black and white one that we made, the layer 5. If we copy that one and then put it on top and then do multiply and like lower the opacity,
yes,
can we paint so we can paint under?
you will get you get kind of a
It'll be different. I'm just saying different.
yes, you'll get a different effect.
Because that's really harsh. So I was like, I wonder if you can make it softer.
You can do soft light and then take the opacity way down. Which probably gives it still a little too much contrast. What you might want to do is just take the opacity down. Put the black and white above it and just take the opacity down. We're not seeing, right? So if your painting is too abrupt, you can bring a copy of the black and white above it. And then play too, because you will get different effects. And then you could also, yeah, you can absolutely play with the opacity of that layer, so that it's very, very subtle, or it's much more dynamic. So for one image, I'd like you to paint it like that. For the other one, let's go into this old photo here. When you're done with this one, or you can paint this one, or you can paint the other one, I'd like you to experiment with two other things. One is the gradient map adjustment layer. And an adjustment layer is pretty great because it goes on top of the layer panel and affects everything below it. Also, you can do this. Turn it on and off, right? So the adjustment layer allows you to make changes without making commitments. And I don't know about you, but I like that, okay? So the gradient map typically has a default of black to white, like this.
That pink.
That pink, though, is pretty great. But you change the gradient editor the same way you would if you were just using the gradient tool. So if you want to change this color here, you could change this color to, say, a nice blue. You could add another stop in there. That's maybe a nice gray. Actually, those would probably look better if they were. Oh, nope, that's kind of crazy too. See, as you can see, you can kind of play with that. I think this one probably should be black. There we go. And then we'll take this one.
Make it blue.
Yeah, make that kind of a nice steel blue, right? So you can play with the gradient map too. If you do, however, use this free mask that you get with it to mask out the white border, because you don't want that on the border. You just want it on the image, okay? You can also change the layer, the blending mode and the opacity. Also, and this is the coolest, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Go to this little pull down menu. Oh, sorry, click in here. Go to this little pull down menu and set up photographic toning. And this, and hit append. And this sets you up with all sorts of sepia and coppers and stuff that's like a little more traditionally darkroom. So you're more than welcome to play around with these. You can use them, the presets, or you can go in and change the colors here by simply clicking on the color stop, clicking here, and then changing it.
Can we change the direction of this gradient? Because it seems to be going left to right.
This is going,
This one that we can like click and drag.
this is,
Or no?
this is not the gradient tool. The gradient map acts more like this, right? It's just linear. If you wanted to apply a gradient in another way, you could make a blank layer at the top, get the gradient tool,
Okay.
and then you have options of what direction it could go. And then you could also change to something like that, to
Just because you
soft
had
light.
us edit the sky and then we put the gradient layer on top and it's still dark to light anyway, so
Well, one of the things I want you to do is lighten this side up a little bit.
but do you think it would still look that way?
I think it would. I think personally, I would do this because one of the things we didn't do in this demo, but we did in the last demo, was we took the brush and we created
Oh, the
a white layer, dodging layer. where you're withholding exposure. So we got a big fat white brush and we painted kind of white. Let's turn off everything for just a second. Everything. I mean everything, okay? And then we took this to soft light, and then we took it down quite a bit to lighten up that one side. So then,
And then the gradient map.
Yeah.
Looks so
then that gradient map will look better. And also you can go back in. If you don't like it, you can use the eraser on this layer. You may want to use the eraser at an reduced opacity.
see, the gradient map's a mask, right? So we could also erase on that.
Yeah,
Okay.
hide and reveal. I'm going to just change your words to hide and reveal.
Right.
Yeah.
Hide, because we don't erase in here.
No erasing in here. Right? So you can lighten it up by using the dodging and burning layer, right? And then also you can, with this gradient map, if you don't like, you don't want all of it on there, you can also edit that. And what's great about adjustment layers that come with these free adjustment layer masks is you can change the opacity of the brush. Right? So I realized that was a lot, and next week we're focusing on adjustment layers. So this is just to give you kind of an introduction to the two ways that you can color. I'm going to show you one more thing because I think it's super cool. The color lookup. Color lookup's got some great stuff like fall colors, moonlight, and tension green, futuristic bleak, crisp winter, right? So you've got bleach bypass. You've got a couple of things in here that you could also play with, and just kind of, I don't know, I just have a really good time just going in here and kind of playing around with some of these things. I'm not even going to go through what all of these things are right now. Just play with them, right? So play with using an adjustment layer for an overall warming effect or cooling effect using some of the photographic toning, and then I'd like you to paint the other one. Okay, we'll also review that next week too. Cool? Any questions?